It says we live. It says we live now, so I want to check real quick.
Somebody check to see if we live.
This is good.
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
I want to start off by giving all praise to Yahweh.
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
Double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone. And peace and salutation, as always, to the elect, the house of David, which is being gathered together in these latter days. And once that happens, all right, salvation is going to come. And the salvation that's going to come to us was written about, all right, by our forefathers. It was prophesied in the Holy Scriptures, man. So today we're going to get into Jeremiah 50 and some of 51. You know, just go back and forth. We're not going to read the whole chapters, but read key points, because written in that chapter, all right, those two chapters are very special. The whole book is special, but those two chapters in specific, all right, were written for the captives at Babylon, which spiritually translate to us here in Babylon the Great, and gathered and scattered throughout all the four corners of the earth, but primarily here in Babylon the Great, okay? Because this is the major captivity. This is the stronghold that the Lord is going to destroy and utterly burn through war, through chariots, through natural disasters, or whatever happens. This place, this whole landmass of Babylon the Great is prophesied in the Holy Scriptures, all right, to be utterly decimated, okay? Not the Vatican, okay? That the Lord is going to make a statement by destroying and burning the entire landmass, all right, from California to New York and beyond, okay? Burn with fire, utterly destroy, and that's going to be the statement that the Lord makes. So we're going to get into these chapters, but before that, let's get an overview so we can, so brothers can understand, all right, because this is a history book, and our forefathers wrote particular things for us, so we have to understand history as well when you get into the Bible. It's good sometimes to, you know, read, you get into the prophecies, all right, but you got to also know what was happening around those times, okay, when it's going into prophecy, when you can link it into now, when it's something that happened at that actual time. But spiritually, we can link all things that happen in any empire to now, because what does the scripture say? That which is then is now.
Right.
You see? Go ahead, brother, and read that.
God, just going into Sariah, and it says Sariah ben Neriah, was Sariah son of Neriah, when Zedekiah made a journey to Babylon to do homage to Nebuchadnezzar.
Right, but not a son of Sariah. Say that again. Read that again.
Yeah, the son of Neriah, Sariah.
Right.
When Zedekiah made a journey to Babylon to do homage to Nebuchadnezzar.
Right.
Sariah had charge of the royal gifts to be presented on that occasion.
Right, right. So Sariah, who is whose father? That's Ezra's father. You can get that account. You can get that. Get Ezra 7:1 real quick. Okay. This is before the fall of the Neo-Babylonian Empire, and when the Neo-Babylonian Empire fell, who came into power?
Persians.
The Persians and the Medes. Okay, and from that time, what were we allowed to do? We were allowed to rebuild the temple, and Ezra was one of the heads. Okay.
God.
Go ahead.
God.
You say Ezra 7:1?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the book of Ezra, chapter 7, verse 1. Now after these things, in the reign of Artaxerxes, king of Persia, Ezra, the son of Sariah,
okay. Go ahead.
the son of Azariah, the son of Hilkiah.
Right, and these are Levites. Okay, and Jeremiah was a Levite. All right, now go ahead and read that.
Come. Jeremiah took advantage of the occasion and sent with Sariah a word of cheer to the exiles in Babylon.
Right, so he sent a word of cheer to the exiles at Babylon. So when you read Jeremiah 51, Jeremiah 50 and Jeremiah 51, those letters were directly from Jeremiah. Okay, the king at that time, who was Zedekiah, he was set up by the Babylonians.
Right.
He was rebellious. He didn't want to listen to the words of Jeremiah that the Babylonians were fit to come sack the temple. He didn't want to listen to those words. He wanted to form a rebellion, which is why the Lord was justified in destroying them. Okay, because they were very serious about the temple. Right. So for Jeremiah to go out there and tell them, look, this temple is about to be destroyed. Okay, that was a big thing. So the king Zedekiah didn't want to listen at that message.
Right.
Okay, that's why Jeremiah was catching a lot of hell.
Right.
Go ahead, brother.
This to back up what the elder's saying. This is Jeremiah 52 and verse 3. I'm gonna read verse 2 and verse 3. It says, and he did that. I'll start at verse 1. Zedekiah was 121 years old 1 and 20 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Hamutal, the daughter of Jeremiah of Libnah. And he did that which was evil in the eyes of the Lord, according to all that Jehoiakim had done.
Right. That's right. He did that was evil. Pretty much Josiah was the last king, I believe, that was in good graces with Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Go ahead.
For through the anger of Yahweh it came to pass in Jerusalem and Judah, till he had cast them out from his presence, that Zedekiah rebelled against the king of Babylon.
Right. He rebelled. He tried to rebel. And Jeremiah said, "No, you had this is prophecy. This is what's going to happen. You got to bow your neck to the king of Babylon." And they were calling him a sellout.
Right.
You know, and giving him hell. And pretty much after that, there was pretty much no more king to sit on the throne of Judah.
Right.
That was it. You know, before that, I believe you had Jeconiah, which was rebellious. They were set up by the Babylon, Egypt. Okay, and Zedekiah was set up by the Babylonians. So these already were people who they set up, sellouts, so to speak. Okay?
Right.
Right. Now, read some more of that, folks.
It says Jeremiah.
So Zedekiah, real quick, so to catch up, Zedekiah is on his way to pay tribute to the king of Babylon. Sariah was in charge of the gifts. So they're on their way, and Jeremiah tells Sariah, look, get these letters to the captives that are at Babylon. So when you read Jeremiah 50 and 51, those letters were to those captives at Babylon, which spiritually, we're those captives at Babylon.
That's right. That's
So
right.
when you read those chapters, you hear about what? The destruction of the hammer of the earth. And that ain't talking about that Babylon, all right, that he was a part of. Because the way that Babylon fell was just by men. There were a few wars, a few people died, don't get me wrong. It was blood, but it wasn't by fire.
Right.
A whole bunch of nations didn't come and just destroy the Babylonian Empire.
That's right.
Okay? It didn't happen like that. All right, go ahead.
Jeremiah.
Yeah, I was gonna bring this out real quick just to back it up. This is in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary for the definition of Cyrus. I'm gonna get to the point. It says in this same inscription, Cyrus proceeds to relate how the city of Babylon opened its gates to him without resistance, thus confirming the biblical account recorded in Daniel 5 when Darius, acting as vice regent for Cyrus, took the city of Babylon in the name of Cyrus the Great.
Right. So
it was without resistance, man.
Right. Many tekel. That's what's in Daniel the 5th chapter. Right. The end of the Neo-Babylonian Empire, the Chaldeans, the Persians came into power. Through the Persians, we were able to rebuild the temple. Okay, go ahead.
Going back to where left off, it says Jeremiah took advantage of the occasion and sent with Sariah a word of cheer to the exiles in Babylon.
He sent the word of cheer to the exiles at Babylon. Go ahead.
And an announcement of doom in store for the guilty city.
Man.
And an announcement of doom to the guilty city.
Right.
Now, the Babylon did eventually fall.
Right.
But spiritually, we know that it's talking about this Babylon.
That's right.
At the end of the day. Go ahead.
The roll containing this message, Jeremiah 51 through 8, Sariah was to read to the exiles, and then, after fixing a stone to it, was to throw it into the Euphrates, uttering, as it say, the prayer recorded in Jeremiah 51,
right,
verses 59 through 64.
Let's get that. Get Jeremiah 51.
I got it.
Yeah,
Jeremiah chapter 51.
somebody up here. So give me here.
Jeremiah 51.
Verse 59 through 64.
Right.
Okay. This is Jeremiah
To prove to you
51.
before we read, to prove to you that this ain't talking about that Babylon. This is going to prove it. Go ahead.
Jeremiah 51 and 59. The word which Jeremiah the prophet commanded Sariah, the son of Neriah, the son of Maaseiah, when he went with Zedekiah, the king of Judah, into Babylon in the fourth year of his reign. And this Sariah was a quiet prince.
He was a quiet prince. He wasn't rowdy. You know, he was just a quiet, you know, and he was in good graces with Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Go ahead.
So Jeremiah wrote in a book all the evil that should come upon Babylon, even all these words that are written against Babylon. And Jeremiah said to Sariah, when thou comest to Babylon and shalt see and shalt read all these words, then shalt thou say, O Yahweh, thou hast spoken against this place to cut it off, that none should remain in it, neither man nor beast.
Right.
But that,
So how could that be talking about the ancient Babylonian Empire when the Persians dwelled there and took it over?
Exactly.
People were still dwelling there. There was a church at Babylon when you read, I believe, in Titus.
In Acts the 2nd chapter, those Jews for the devout men, you had some of those men that came out of Mesopotamia.
There you go. And Mesopotamia is that area, Syria. Right. You see? So this couldn't be talking about that Babylon. Read that part again, Brother Sean.
then shalt thou say, O Yahweh, right, Yahshua, thou hast spoken against this place to cut it off, that none shall remain in it, neither man nor beast, but that it shall be desolate forever.
It shall be desolate forever.
Desolate.
You know, somebody look at that word desolate.
That's important to look up.
You see? Because you know, a lot of people read these prophecies and they get simple. You know, that already happened.
Nope, that didn't happen
When?
back then.
Well, the Babylonian Empire did fall, but did it fall like this? So that's why the scriptures say they are spiritually discerned. What's that?
1 Corinthians 2, I'll get it.
Read that real quick.
Okay.
Read that real quick.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 14. But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of the Most High, for they are foolishness unto him, neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned.
They are spiritually discerned. So you have to spiritually discern when you read the prophecies.
That's right.
Okay? People
I'll
can
say
catch
that.
you up on technicalities and all of that, but you have to understand that, yes, he's in the actual Babylonian Empire, but he's speaking about the end of the hell period,
Right.
which is going to come through the end. You know, this Babylon. Go ahead, brother.
And you just have to understand the scriptures say that you have to go back into the past with nothing being new under the sun. You know what I'm saying? You have to go back into the past to understand what's going to happen in the future.
Right.
You see? With the whole thing with Babylon then and Babylon now, it's a spiritual connection. If you don't have that spiritual connection, just like the brother read, you're not spiritually discerning.
Right.
You carnally trying to discern
Right.
what it's going into. And that's where that block is, you know?
Right. And we're a spiritual people. We're supposed to be spiritual. Real quick, this is 1 Peter 5 and 13. The church that is at Babylon, elected together, salute you. So doeth Marcus, my son. So there was a church at
Yeah.
Babylon showing you that people still dwell there.
Right.
Man, yeah.
See? That's just one. You know?
That's right.
Yeah, this is prophecy about what's going to happen in Babylon in the New Testament. Revelation 18 and 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and
I
hateful
said
bird.
the old Babylon wasn't called Babylon the Great.
Right.
It was just, it let you know it's two different ones. You know?
That's right.
That's right. When you read it in Revelation.
Inhabitants are still there too.
They're still over in Iraq.
Exactly.
Right.
The Iraq War, that was in what, the 90s?
Mm-hmm. They still over there in rubble.
And that
In
says it's gonna,
in
that
ruins.
says it's gonna be left for being inhabited by foul birds
That's it.
and stuff. So that's like the cormorant, the vultures,
All of that.
Yeah, because when you read
Desert animals.
it in Jeremiah 51, talk about it, like beasts wasn't going to dwell therein. So what it's saying is the only thing that's going to dwell therein is just going to be birds. You know what I'm saying? The fowls, every fowl, so that's a fowl, that's a bird. You know what I'm saying? And when you read it in Isaiah 34, it goes into vivid detail of the different fowls that was going to be there.
Well, it says dragons.
Dragons. Oh,
It
yes,
says
come,
dragons
Salaki,
as well.
Salaki,
You know,
yes.
that's in Isaiah the 13th chapter.
Yeah, dragons,
Bitterns,
scorpions,
owls,
yeah.
but that's a foul, you know what I'm saying?
Come.
But it's just gonna be that's what's gonna be. Oh, that's prophesied.
Yeah, because like Mike Yalla just read in Jeremiah 51, verse 62, it said desolate forever.
Right.
And I had that word desolate. In the Hebrew, Strong's H8077, it says shamamah. It says waste. And then you go into Strong's definition, it says devastation, figuratively, astonishment, laid, most waste. So that couldn't have been talking about ancient
Right,
Babylon,
right.
and that's the point. That's talking about something that's going to happen in the future.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's it. So
Exactly.
I was gonna make a point, even like if you got like a Bible that got the precepts down the middle of it, when you read in Jeremiah, what we just read in chapter 51, verse 62, when it says none shall remain in it, the precept that it gives you here, it tells you to jump to Isaiah 13 and 20, where it talks about Babylon being likened unto Sodom and Gomorrah,
Mm-hmm.
Destroyed.
destroyed,
Desolate.
Yep.
burned with fire.
And that didn't happen to ancient
And that didn't
Babylon.
happen in ancient Babylon.
Right.
You
Yep.
see what I'm saying?
That's right.
So that's how you know spiritually it has to be talking about a whole nother place
Exactly.
that was going to be risen up in the last days.
Because more so like then, it was just a transfer of power.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
being transferred out of the hands of Nebuchadnezzar at that time to Cyrus.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't actually burned with fire to where that actual land where it's to be inhabited would be a desert. That ain't happened yet.
Exactly.
Can I get a precept this that Isaiah 13 that you alluded to
Okay.
real quickly?
Yep.
Out of you, if you don't mind. This is Isaiah 13 and 19. In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldeans, excellent shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It shall never be inhabited. Neither shall it be brought in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabians pitch the tent there.
That haven't happened yet.
Right.
That haven't happened yet. Is it more than that, my God?
God, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. That's a clear cut because ancient Babylon is still going on
Yep.
to this day. What is that? Iraq.
You can catch a flight. You can catch a flight and go there.
And chiefly, who's in Iraq right now?
Arabian.
The Arabians.
So-called Arabians.
So that would be this precept would be a contradiction.
That's right.
Which
Yeah,
a contradiction is a fancy word for a lie.
because the Arabs over here, they got stores set up.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere you go, Ishmael set up cell phone store, halal this, you know,
Convenience
doing all
stores,
sorts of 7-Eleven stores, corner stores in the hood, pitching tent, helping the age of destruction. You got it, bro.
Kind. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls and shall dwell there, and satires shall dance there.
Like the vultures.
And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces. In her time it is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged.
There you go. So let's get back to where we at.
Jeremiah 51.
Jeremiah 51.
This is Jeremiah 51, and
Back in 60
you was at verse 60. I was at 63.
Yeah, kind of.
I'm sorry, I thought you was about to grab something. Verse 63, and it shall be when thou hast made an end of reading this book, that thou shalt bind a stone to it and cast it in the midst of Euphrates.
The great millstone. Go ahead.
And thou shalt say, thus shall Babylon sink, and it shall not rise from the evil that I will bring upon her, and they shall be weary. Thus far are the words of Jeremiah.
So Sariah is here today.
Yep. He has to be.
He has to be. Bringing out the word, prophesying.
He has to be.
According to that scripture right there. All right? Got some more.
That's it.
All right, so let's go ahead and get to, is there some more in that?
Yeah, that was a good one.
More something else you think that you want to read? And then what you want to read, 51 or 50? 50 or 52?
Yeah, absolutely.
29 to
Yeah,
jump.
yeah, then jump. Yeah.